All right, hey guys, Ethan here. So this video is critical, and what I'm doing is a high intensity interval run on the treadmill. Now, it's very important that you watch this video and listen to the commentary. I know it's boring to watch me run on the treadmill, but what's important here is that you understand exactly the precise way that I am doing this run, because this is what is going to give you those fast fat burning results that it's really the cornerstone of this whole program. So this is a 28-minute video, but it's the ideal high intensity interval run that's measured using your Apple Watch as a heart rate monitor. If you don't have an Apple Watch, you can use a different type of heart rate monitor, but a heart rate monitor is required to do this correctly. I have a few different heart rate monitors. I have, let's see, there's this Scotchy makes a heart rate monitor that goes on your wrist. It actually goes like on your forearm, and you can connect it to your phone. You can find that on Amazon. I prefer the wrist monitors to the chest monitors, but I also do have a chest monitor. If you just look up chest heart rate monitors, and I'll put some in the equipment list. So the key is to get what is most comfortable for you and is going to give you the best accuracy. Now, it used to be that back in the day, the chest heart rate monitors were the most reliable and gave you the best accuracy. But as technology has evolved, I've found that the chest heart rate monitor and the forearm heart rate monitor and the Apple Watch are all pretty reliable and pretty close to each other as far as measurements go. So now I just use my Apple Watch because I always have it on anyway, and it's just one less apparatus that I have to worry about getting. So the app that we're using is called iCardio, ICARDIO, and you're going to use that to track your interval runs. So now the first thing you have to do is connect your Apple Watch to iCardio on your phone. And I have another video that's in the program that shows you how to link the two and how to troubleshoot it if you have any problems connecting. Then you're going to warm up. What I'm doing right now is a 10-minute warm-up run. So you can see here that I'm only 2 minutes and 48 seconds into my warm-up. This is very, very crucial that you do a warm-up and don't just go all in and try to knock out your interval run. An interval run is going to be, it should feel pretty strenuous on your heart because you're really, really pushing your heart muscle. And that is what creates the burn. You know, you're pushing your heart muscle up and down, but you want to warm up first because you don't want to hurt yourself. So this warm up is crucial. So we're 3 minutes in, and as you can see, I'm not exerting too much energy. I have the treadmill at about, see if I can see it from here. You can't see it from this screen, but I typically have the treadmill at between 6 miles per hour and 7 miles per hour when I'm doing my warm up. That's a nice, comfortable pace for me. It's very conversational. You can look at TV or whatever. Now, again, I usually don't go to the gym. I'm only at the gym recording this because it's easier to record. I did that just for the sake of this program, of this training, to show you exactly how to do the high intensity interval run, or HIIT is how we abbreviate it, because it is that important that you get this right. So you're going to start out with a 10-minute run at a comfortable pace. And then after 10 minutes is when we're going to speed up into the into accelerating through the heart rate zones. Now, if you haven't already set your heart rate zones, there is another module that goes over that and how to set your heart rate zones. There are also some calculations on how you can set it. but you should really go through and do the fitness assessment in the app. So find that module. Um, okay, so now the reason I recommend outdoor running over treadmill running is, well, a couple of reasons. One, it's said that the treadmill is worse on your knees than outdoor running. Outdoor running is more natural. In fact, some of the expert runners say that we were designed to just, run barefoot through the trails. If you think back to primitive man, when we were cavemen, we didn't have the latest high tech running shoes, and we didn't have concrete pavement streets. We would just get out there and run barefoot through the woods and the trails as we hunted our prey or escaped our enemies. So I like to think about that kind of stuff. It's what I like to visualize while I'm running. Um, so this program is designed so that you don't need to go to the gym. One, because having to go to the gym to work out is already a hindrance. It's already a barrier to keep you from achieving your goals. It's much easier if you can just get up, throw on some running clothes, and just go outside of your door and enjoy the outdoors on a nice outdoor run. Now, of course, if weather conditions are bad, sometimes I will go to the gym just to make sure I get my run in. I don't want to run through freezing cold rain or snow, but sometimes I actually do, because that gives you kind of another layer of toughness. It's like, okay, yeah, I did that. It gets your adrenaline pumping even more. It's even rumored that running in the cold burns more calories. So I will do that from time to time. But doing it on the treadmill actually gives you a more control over your high intensity interval run, because you can just speed up the treadmill and force yourself to go faster and work harder. Whereas when you're outside running, you actually have to mentally push yourself to increase your cadence and therefore increase your speed, which increases your heart rate to get you up into zone 5. So as you can see now, I'm about 7 minutes into my workout run, to my warm up run, and I'm in zone 3. So that's right. We're tracking really well here. I really don't pay too much attention to distance, so don't harp on that. But I've already gone 0.12 miles. I think what's important, especially starting out in this program, is doing it the correct way, that we train here, and how to do the high intensity run with your heart rate zones. So don't skimp on any part of it. It's not about just going fast, going slow, going fast, going slow. There is a very mathematical method to this. After this 10-minute run, after this 10-minute warm up, you're going to see me increase the speed on the treadmill and begin accelerating gradually until I get into zone 5. Now, in my ear, in my headphones, I can hear when the app switches to the next heart rate zone. So it'll say, now entering zone 2, now entering zone 3, now entering zone 4, now entering zone 5. And when you hear those cues in your ear, then that's when it's time to adjust the treadmill up or down. Or if you're outside running, that's when it's time to push up to the next level and go faster and faster. The trick to doing it outside, to speeding up when you're running outside, again, is increasing your cadence. Your cadence is the pace at which your feet move. So if you think about it like a drum cadence, if I'm running like this, like right now, as I'm looking at this treadmill, my cadence is kind of like, but if I want to get faster, and I just increase the rhythm of my footsteps. That's what your cadence is. And that's a good way to trick your mind. If you just focus on that rhythm, then that's how you can go faster and really, really push your body, because that's the key here. Okay, so now we're in 9 minutes of the warm out. Let's see. Of course, you can disregard the miles per hour here. You can, actually, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. You can disregard the distance, because I'm not really moving anywhere. So I don't think that this is accurately tracking the distance. Now that I think about it, in 10 minutes, I would have gone about a mile or much farther than a mile at this point. So ignore the distance because we're indoors on a treadmill. All right. So now it just said in my ear that I see that I'm coming up on the 10-minute mark. So what I did was I increased the speed on the treadmill up about 0.5 miles per hour. So now I'm up to 7.5 miles per hour on the treadmill. So I'm gonna gradually start getting faster, and we should start to see my beats per minute increase as I increase the speed. You know, after you hit that 10-minute mark, that 10-minute warm up, it's time to go all in. All right, so I just increased the speed another increment, another half of a mile per hour. So I'm probably up to 8 miles per hour at this point on the treadmill setting. Now, if I were outside again, I would just keep pushing. I'm still in zone 3, but I do see it gradually increasing. So you'll start to feel it at this point. Just keep holding, keep pushing, and so that you hear those heart rate zones go up in your ear, because that is what's going to give you the results. I know when you first start doing this, it's gonna feel like you want to give up when you're in like zone 3 or zone 4, but I want you to push. You can do anything as long as it's temporary. And this is very, very temporary. So don't focus on the fact that you're running. Don't focus on the fact that it hurts. Don't focus on, the pain. The trick that I use is I gamify this by focusing on the heart rate zones. Okay, so now I'm at the next level. It's like playing a video game. So I just entered zone 4. It said in my ear, now entering zone 4. Now this is set for my heart rate zones. Your numbers are going to be a little bit different. So don't pay too much attention to the exact number. So roughly speaking, I'm 42 years old, about to be 43 at the time of recording this. In my heart rate zones, roughly like 130 is where I enter zone 1. 140 is where I enter zone 2. 150 is where I enter zone 3. 160 is where I enter zone 4. And 170 is where I enter zone 5. Those are very, very rough numbers. They're going to change as you age. And it's also going to vary depending on your fitness level and your VO2 level. So it's important that you think about, when doing this, you're doing it based on your personal heart rate zones. So it's going to be challenging for you, but the thing is, it's just as challenging for you because you're working within your own heart rate zones as it is for me because I'm working in my heart rate zones. And as my fitness increases, I push myself even harder. Okay, so here we are now, zone 5. You can see the sweat starting to pour. So now what you do is once you get in zone 5, and for me, that's above 170. I heard it in my ear. Now entering zone 5, that's when I go all out and I hold that. I stay in that zone for 60 seconds, 1 minute. So I actually count in my head. That's another way that I gamify this thing. I count by tens, like with my breaths. So I'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2. Now, of course, that count that I just did is faster than actual seconds. So sometimes when you're in zone 5 and you're trying to hold this peak in your interval runs, man, that minute can feel like an eternity. I get it, but just focus. Now, you're going to have to, if you count like I just counted at that pace, you're going to have to count longer than 60 because I was counting faster than 1 second. So I'll either look at the clock if I'm on a treadmill, but again, I love to run outdoors. So I'm just counting in my head, and I've estimated that at the speed that I'm counting, I need to get to about 75 or 80 in my count to equal 1 minute. So I hope that makes sense because seconds move more like 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, and I'm running much faster than that. So the trick is to figure out how does your count match 1 minute. Now, as soon as you hit that minute mark, that's when you drop back down to a walk. So on the treadmill, what I did there was I held the down button on the treadmill speed, and I took it all the way down to about 3 miles per hour. That's a good, comfortable walking pace. It's not too slow. It's not too fast for me. For you, if you feel like 2.8 or something is a little bit better, that's fine. It also depends on how tired you are that day. But typically you want to stay somewhere between like 2.7 to 3.2 as your walking speed. And you're going to keep walking, and in my ear, I'm hearing the zones go down. So it'll say it now entering zone 3. You're now entering zone 2. I'm in zone 2 right now. As soon as I hear it say you are now entering zone 1, then it's time to ramp it back up. It's time to go at it again. So it just said that you are now entering zone 1. So yeah, my zone 1 must be around like 134, 135. So as soon as it touches zone 1, start ramping back up. So we're repeating the process. We're in our second wave of the interval training right now. So I ramped up the speed from the walking speed. The walking speed was about 3.2 miles per hour. And I pressed the up button on the treadmill to get me back up to like 7.5 miles per hour, because that'll get me up into zone 3. And again, if you're running outside, once you hear zone 1, man, put your foot on the gas, get back up to speed, increase your cadence. It's very important to focus. Another thing you can focus on is your actual running form, because that's going to make running easier for you. So when you're running, you want to keep everything straight. You're hold your hands like this, like you're holding a potato chip in each hand. Make sure your knuckles are facing forward. And as you move your arms, everything facing forward. Some people run like this, where they're crossing their arms, and that's not good running form. You want everything to be aligned and to be straight when you run. Your arms, your hands, your feet, your face, your eyes should all be pointed in the direction that you want to go. That is the key to efficient running. It also helps you take your mind off of the fact that you're running if you just concentrate on your form. Just concentrate on your form. Make sure your form is correct and don't let it slip. And even I'm looking at my form right now, it's honestly not that great. It's tougher to do the more tired you get in your run. It's going to be tougher to maintain perfect form. But you have to remind yourself in your brain, okay, let me focus on my form. I'm also dripping sweat now. And this is how you know it's working, guys. You want to be dripping sweat. And I can hear it in my ear going up. Now I'm just entering zone 4. And if you watch my hands, you'll see that not only do I increase the speed, but I start also increasing the incline of the treadmill, because this works my heart even harder, and helps me get into zone 5 faster. It would take me, I would have to run a lot faster if I didn't do the incline, if the treadmill were more flat. When you're running outdoors, of course, when you get on a hill, what I like to do, if I'm really pushing and trying to get into zone 5, find a big hill, sprint up that hill, and then you're really, really pushing yourself, and you're going to get into zone 5 really fast. And once you get into zone 5, remember, hold it for an entire minute. I know that minute is going to seem long, but you can do anything that's temporary. A minute is not a long time. Just think about something else. Another thing that I do to take my mind off of when I'm running, I love to listen to good audiobooks or podcasts. So find something that interests you that's going to take your mind off of the fact that you are going through this grueling run. I like to listen to business stuff all the time, so I'm thinking about ways to grow my business. I'm listening to personal development stuff, always thinking about ways to improve in my spirituality. So between podcasts and audiobooks, I'm constantly feeding my mind, feeding my brain, and not thinking about the fact that I'm doing a run. Now, nothing's wrong with music. I do like to listen to music from time to time while I'm running. I just personally find that I get bored of it once I've heard the same songs over and over for a few times. I'm kind of like, let me do something else to enrich my mind. And then I do have certain playlists where I'll go back to that music to like pull me through, because music is very emotional and it can push you in those hard moments when you're finding it tough on a run. So here I am now in zone 5, And you can see I've done it for a minute and I'm pressing that down button so I can get back to a walking speed on the treadmill, back down to like 3 miles per hour, 3.2 miles per hour. And you can see the sweat coming off. And then now I'm adjusting the decline and going back to flat. So I went from sprinting and at an incline, the incline was at about level 2 on the treadmill. And then once I stayed in zone 5 for a minute, then I hit the button to go down to a walking speed, which is about 3 miles per hour, 3 miles per hour. And I adjusted the incline to go back down to flat, which is 0. So 0 and 3. And I just walk until, and I hear the zones counting down in my ear in the app. And as soon as it says zone 1, I'm going to go right back up again and do this third interval round. I think for purposes of this video, I did 3 interval cycles where I went up to zone 5, held it, came back down to 1, went up to zone 5, came back down to 1, went up to zone 5, held it, came back down to 1. I think I either did 3 or 4 in this video. So we'll see in a moment. Now, as you can see, the calories, I'm burning the calories here, 300 calories so far. But the great thing about interval training is that this continues on for the next day. Like my body will continue burning calories from this run the next day. And that's the beauty of interval training. Like nothing else really does that. And that's why this type of workout is magic. But you have to hit these heart rate zones. Okay, so here I switched over to the graph screen so that you can see it in a more visual format in the iCardio app. So you can see here where I did my 10-minute warm up. Then after 10 minutes, I got up to zone 5 and held it there for a minute and then came back down. As soon as it touched zone 1, I repeated the process, went back up to zone 5, held it for a minute, and then let it come back down. As soon as it hit zone 1, I just repeated the process again, and I'm going back up. I adjusted the speed back up on the treadmill to about 7.5. That's a good jogging pace for me. And I'll keep that until I get up until about zone 3. And then I go up to 8 miles per hour. And then I'll hold that for a little while. Then I'll go up to 8.5. And then I'll go up to 9 miles per hour on the treadmill. Meanwhile, I'm also increasing the incline about half of a point every time I go up on the speed, I go up on the incline a little bit too. Now I max out my incline at 2, but sometimes 2.5. I don't know what that increment is measuring, but on the treadmills it just says it goes from 0 to 0.5 to 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, etc. as the incline goes up. So for me, I'll take it up to 2 because, or 2.5, because higher than that is like a really, really steep incline and I don't need to go that hard. Now, I guess I could go up more of an incline and go at a slower speed. You know, you can play with those variables if you're on a treadmill. Again, the beauty of it is try to run outside as much as you can so that you don't have to depend on a treadmill. With all the stuff going on with the pandemic and stuff, you know, people are going to the gym less. And this whole program was designed so that you don't have to go to the gym. Again, I barely go to the gym. I have this Planet Fitness membership that I barely use because I much rather be running outside. And when I look at people, you know, who are older than me, like Lenny Kravitz, I mean, this guy's 56 years old and he's just ripped and chiseled. And I looked at his workout plan in the magazine and he does the same stuff. He runs outside, he does the intervals, he does the pull-ups and stuff. So this stuff works, but you have to do it. You have to follow this technique, follow this method. It will seem tough. It will feel tough. I mean, even for me, I've been doing this for years. And sometimes these interval runs are very tough. And there's actually a lot of factors that are going to affect the quality of your interval run. How much sleep did you get the night before? How much food have you had? You know, are you running on an empty stomach? Did you do a strength training workout beforehand? all of those things could negatively impact the outcome of your high intensity run. But sometimes I'm aware of that. Sometimes I will work out strength first, do my push-ups, my pull-ups for about 10 minutes first or 15 minutes before I do my interval run. Sometimes I'll do my strength after my interval run. It just depends on what your goals are for the day and what type of workouts you've been doing leading up to the day. So because whatever you put your energy toward first is going to obviously get the best quality workout. So on this day, because I wanted to show you guys how to do an interval run correctly, I did that. The interval run was what I did first. All right, so here I got up into zone 5 and I held it for a minute. Okay, so for this one, okay, so for your last interval, when you get up to zone 5 and you hold it for a minute, then when you're at your peak, after that minute, you want to immediately switch the app and pause the workout. And then you press the recovery button. And then you completely stop running. You completely stop. You don't walk, you don't run, and just let your heart rate cool down and you recover. And what this graph is, the recovery graph. Recovery lasts 2 minutes and you're going to just see the heart rate drop. And this is very important in measuring your fitness health. You want your recovery to get down past 50 beats per minute. So from the peak to in 2 minutes, you should have dropped over 50 points. So this is I'm just holding up the screen and showing you the recovery that's going on right here. And at this point, man, I am like out of breath. You see the sweat coming. Man, the sweat, the breath in the sweat is the fat that is escaping your body. So you want to show off, I want to show off the abs to you guys so y'all know I'm not like full of crap here, that these results actually work. And even if you don't like taking off your shirt, you should be able to see your abs through your shirt by the time you're done through this program. Again, I'm a normal guy just like you guys. I'm showing you all the secrets. This is exactly what works. You'll see other versions of this out on the internet, but man, I'm telling you, I've never seen results like this before. It's not about just sprinting until you get tired and then walking. It has to be measured. The measurement is what makes the difference. You need to measure how your heart is beating because that is what is going to burn the fat. This is critical. And look, I just showed you guys the exact framework, the exact way. So now here I am approaching the end of my recovery, and let's see how I did. So I only got to 48 recovery on this one. So that means I didn't push myself hard enough on the peak runs, or that means that let me stop the sharing, or that means that I didn't like calm down enough and just let my heart really, sit still and let my heart rate really get back down. So this is it, guys. So just to recap, 10-minute warm up, and then you're going to go up to zone 5. You're going to gradually increase your speed, increase your cadence until you hit zone 5. You're going to stay in zone 5 for 1 full minute, 60 seconds. Count in your head, count by, tens, whatever. Trick yourself into just getting through that minute. And then you immediately start walking. And you walk until you hear the heart rate zones come down in your ear. And the app will tell you, you're now descending into zone 4, descending into zone 3, zone 2. As soon as you hear zone 1, go back up, get back into zone 5, hold it for a minute. Repeat the process. You can do these peaks. You should do at least 3 cycles per interval workout. I've done as many, man, when I was really, really going crazy with it, I've done as many as like 8 cycles in an interval run. And boy, the pounds just fell off. Now, you don't want to do this every day. Do not overdo it. The benefit of doing the interval workout is that it's still burning calories for you the next day. Now, you are going to work out the next day, but you're not going to do interval training the next day. It's very important that you do something different. Go for a long walk or do a steady, a long like endurance run, or just do your strength training, maybe do a long session of strength training. So that way you're getting double the benefit. You're getting the you're still getting the burn from the interval run the day before, and now you're getting the strength and the workout from the current day. So it's like you're doubling up your efforts and really, really maximizing your workout. So I hope this has been beneficial for you. Trust me, this is gold. Follow this formula and you will see amazing results. All right, I'll see you in the next video.